This is Miranda Newsom. Southwark Council has banned her from every single leisure centre in the area. Her crime? Objecting to a man in the women's changing room. I'm Connie Shaw and this is GB News Originals. A protest was organised by Miranda and the Women's Rights Network outside...
Why are they even arguing about this? Imagine now we're arguing that a guy can just walk into a woman's, like in town there, those kanjo bathrooms, you can just enter the woman's side and if you just chomoa your dick and start doing your business. Because they actually have a term as a female dick, female penis. They're mad, I'm telling you.
At the leisure centre. So naturally, so-called trans activists, or rather people who are in favour of forcing women to get undressed in front of men, organised a counter-protest against women who just want to be able to get changed without men in the room. You may be unsurprised to hear that they were not very keen on answering questions about their reason for protesting. And what's the issue here? What's happened at this leisure centre?
They're little flags.
Southwark Council have banned a member at the leisure centre for harassing a trans person in the changing rooms. And so we're...
So you hear the language, harassing a trans person in a changing room. Not that they were kicking out a man who was ogling them in the changing room. Because that's a lot of this, by the way. Is it called autogynephilia? Or there's something. Let me just ask Odiero over here. Odiero, there is this sexual fetish of men wearing women's clothes. What is it called? Is it autogynephilia, something like that?
Yes, you're on the right. Yes, you're thinking of autogynephilia. It's a term that was originally coined to describe a condition where a person is sexually aroused by the thought of themselves as a woman. It's a very debated concept in psychology, and not everyone agrees on how useful it is as a concept or a diagnosis. If you're curious about it, it's good to approach with some nuance, since it's...
Good. Now it's become... You see, the AI now is trying to create for them an outlet. No, you see, they would tell you this, except if you ask them about the trans thing, they will tell you it's fully there, but although it's not. So let's... so that... it's called autogynephilia. Yes, it's a fetish. That is what most of these guys are on. And of course, some are retarded, mentally. Some have issues, some have been abused. It comes in so many things. And some have other illnesses, mental illnesses. And they've been pushed ideologically, socially, to go towards that direction. They've been conditioned to do that. So I am teaching you, and you can go and do more research on that, but that's generally the idea.
Supporting Southwark Council.
And by trans person, was that person male or female?
I don't know.
Well, the story is about Miranda Newsom. She says that there was a man in the women's changing room. Do these unions here support women's rights to single-sex spaces?
By the way, Britain the other day just said they described, the Supreme Court of England described what a woman is. I need you, and even America, like thinking that this ideology is so powerful that it's having the highest courts in any land to even discuss this basic biological fact. You have to understand that it's not this is a vulnerable people you need to protect movement. This is an intentional social engineering that is meant to deconstruct everything that we know as facts, so that they can layer on whatever any other ideology that they want. That's why you have people like this who have a problem saying the truth. They live a lie every day with their little flags, because the idea has taken over, the ideology has taken over, and if you add the social shame and trying to, then you have such a person.
You'd have to speak to the unison. I'm just here to...
The story is that there was a male...
And you see, they're usually very non-committal. If you're so right about things, why are you so non-committal, so violent, so aggressive, so manipulative? Why can't you just be straight? Just straight up, say what it is that if you are so right. I want you to notice that.
In the women's changing room, do you think that women should have the right to single-sex spaces?
I think that trans people are...
She's not answering the questions
right
we've been asked.
Those spaces.
So you think that men should be able to go into women's spaces?
I think that people who identify as female should be able to access female spaces.
What do you mean by identify as female?
if they identify as trans, then they should be able to access those spaces.
What about people like Isla Brighton or Karen White?
Sorry, I'm not, I don't like this conversation that we're having.
Why don't you like it?
Don't you see, like, very simple questions that are agitating these people so much that they know that, first of all, they have very low tolerance for any different idea. Very low tolerance. Even discussing it, you can see. Now, I feel that you ask this question. It's a very simple question. No normal person, no adult will be offended by such simple questions. The only reason they will be is because they are pushing an ideology. They know the ideology is bedded in lies and manipulation. That's why you see, once they're totally cornered, they just, no, I don't want to answer any questions.
I don't feel like you should be, attacking.
Attacking. Asking questions is attacking. This is a journalist, by the way. This is GB News. They're just asking basic questions. How is that attacking? I need you to understand the manipulative languages. You can even read it on social media when you read the reports. When somebody is trying to make you lean towards more the emotional argument, it's usually the emotional arguments capture people more quickly. That's why they use them. But you have to grow up, get off your fucking feelings, and then look at things objectively, so that they don't tell you you're attacking. No, she's asking questions. Attacking how? These are the people, by the way, who tell you that silence is violence, and also if you speak, you also the speech that is violent. You can't have it always. They need what they need you to be in a position is that you should accept every time they change their minds for whatever reason and follow whatever edicts they want. That's the position they're putting you. That's why they don't want anything grounded in any facts. They want you to accept any nonsense that comes after they've deconstructed the facts of life, to the point where they've gone to the basics of human civilization and existence and the propagation of our species. To have gone to the basics of that, trying to make us pretend that a man can be a woman. Can somebody explain to me how that makes any sense at all? If you even try. I know I've even seen some local activists who were given some money. The money has died down, so that noise has shut up. And then you see, I want to also give you the, I don't know if this AI is going to give me this, but I'm going to ask. I read a report somewhere that the incidences of reporting of the young people in America, LGBTQ, fell by a significant margin. What margins are those exactly?
Recent reports on LGBTQ plus youth in the US show that mental health challenges are still very high. For example, a 2024 survey by the Trevor Project found that 39% of LGBTQ plus youth seriously considered suicide in the past year.
That's not what I asked. I asked you what there's a drop in the identification of such. I wanted to know what percentage it is. Please stay on topic. You see the corruption?
Recent analyses have suggested a drop in how many US young people identify as transgender or non-binary. For instance, a survey of college students showed that non-binary identification fell from about 6.8% in 2022 to 2023 to 3.6% in 2025.
That's all I needed to know. Almost half. That means, and you see, that's why I'm telling you, when you're using AI, use it for specifically facts. If there's any ideology that includes progressivism, very careful how they ask, because it will go on and give you nonsensical data that you never asked, because they usually just report from the woke leftist reporting they do about these things. So it will take that and regurgitate the PR version of that. So you have to narrow it in. That's what I was trying to show you. It fell by half. By half. Just 1 year. So it is a social contagion. They're using manipulation and propaganda to get especially young people to follow this.
What I'm saying,
How am I attacking what you're saying?
you're making me very anxious, and I'd like to stop this conversation, please.
These are the people you want us to follow and follow. The people who can't answer simple questions. Say, no, you're agitating me. I'm feeling this. The same thing Larry Madowo is trying to push on that side with these prostitutes of the Russian man, who knew exactly what they were doing. But we are supposed to treat them like children now who need counseling. Get the hell out of town. This is the emotional manipulation I need you guys to see. In every reporting these days is that. The reason is that they are pushing an idea. They're not trying to feed you the facts for you to decide what to do. They're trying to not only give you some version of the facts, often exaggerated if it helps them, and often downplayed if it doesn't help them, and then push you, lead you through to what they want you to think.
We want to defend the policy of Southwark Council
And what is that policy?
to allow women to use the facilities,
Listen to that.
whether they're trans women or not.
What do you
You see, that to allow women to use whether they are trans women. Trans women is a man. That's what you need to know. So the way they use the language, you've seen this manipulation languages, except these old woke currents. This is the worst. I'm sure you've seen the NGO heads here, the foreigners. This is the same. You will find all of them are like this manipulative, lying scumbag weasels.
So do you think that women should
Therapy.
have the right to get undressed away from men?
Away from if you're talking about trans women, then
So, gay man. So there is no normal person here. It's just all these weirdos. Yes, they're weirdos. What are you going to do about it?
not men,
Why aren't they?
because they're a trans woman.
And what is a trans woman?
So is what you're asking, do women feel unsafe in those areas?
No, he's asking you what a trans woman is. He wants you to say who they are. Men. That's what she's asking you. Not any this other made up question that you are studying. No. What is she?
No, I'm asking what's a trans woman?
Hey.
As a trans woman, I'm not a doctor.
Do you remember me showing you that black woman, Katanji Brown, current Supreme Court judge there in the US, who was asked what to be a woman and she said she's not a doctor. This is the level that they want us to go down to, yes. That you have to be a doctor to describe what a woman is, to even understand basic biology. That 2-year-olds understand intrinsically. They just know, daddy, mommy. Simple. Nyonyo kwa mami, no nyonyo on daddy. You know, it's basics, not something complicated. So this is what they want to bring everywhere. Us with our problems with employment and in fact, our single mother homes have become, I think we're like at 50-50, I think, or more. We have real problems, infrastructure, sewage, water, food, Northeastern, people dying right now. We have real problems. These people, they found a way to extract money from the government and do it forever to fund the ideology to a point where they're everywhere in the world, in NGOs, governments, organizations. They did it, and people are just there nodding along. Yes, equality, diversity. Just nodding along to our destruction. Zero tolerance.
You're here in support of trans women, but you don't know what they are.
Well,
Yeah.
a trans woman is believe the women. Like I
Huh?
Do you
don't.
believe women who don't want to get undressed in front of men? Do you believe they're discriminated?
I think what you're asking is a loaded question because I think you're asking me.
It's a simple question. I really need you guys to painfully watch this because it is important. Because these are not fringe people. These are people like they're being pushed by the most powerful governments and organizations and companies in the world. They want to make sure that you must follow this ideology. Often you've seen it, but you dismiss it because it's not allowed here. But it's coming. It's been slowed down by Trump and defunding them. But if they get back in power, they are coming up again, and the only defense you have is your knowledge. It's to know, oh, geez, they're bringing the thing. You need to know. Because sometimes, people say, why do you... Yes, the truth matters. The truth, actually, when somebody is trying to remove the truth from your perception of reality, what they're trying to do is manipulate you, I don't know, to whatever ends. Look at this, another old, stupid person. Mentally retarded. These are those sexual degenerates I was telling you about. Just come out as an old man pretending you're a woman. Like, come on now.
So trans women are women, why are they trans?
Why are they trans? Because it's a label that we use to
to identify ourselves,
Why do you need a label if they're just women?
have to get medical care and access care. Some trans women just identify as women.
Yeah. Do you agree that to be a trans woman you have to be biologically male?
No.
You see what I'm telling you? These people are full of shit. They're liars. Liars to the core. Their entire existence pretending this dude here pretending he's a woman. He's already lying at the very basics.
So could I, as a biological female, be a trans woman?
No, because you are a cis female.
I'm telling you, this ideology doesn't make any
Okay,
sense.
so what
Why are
makes
the
you
most
cis?
powerful pushing it?
What makes you cis? Your lived experience of growing up.
And what would that be?
What?
What is my lived experience of growing up that makes me cis?
What is your no, cis is not a slur, so we'll start there. What is your lived
I didn't say it was a slur.
No, but you know, the tone that you're giving, you're saying it's a slur.
Yeah,
So
you see,
your lived
they've started turn. Yeah.
experience is different to that of a trans woman by
Because you're a man.
the way that
Idiot.
you've been raised in society.
Could it be to do with the fact that I'm female and that trans women are male?
No.
So trans women
Like, I'm telling you, retards.
aren't male.
Yes.
So do you believe in the reality of biological sex?
I believe that you are simplifying the reality of biological sex, and I don't believe that biological sex matters.
If biological sex doesn't matter, why are some men so desperate to get into spaces designated for biological women?
Good question.
Why can't they go into the male space if biological
Good
sex
question.
doesn't matter?
Good question.
So what about women who've been raped who don't want to share
What about trans
changing
women
rooms?
that have been raped?
So what? What the hell?
So do you think that the rights of men who say they're women should
But they're
trump the rights
not
of
men, they are women.
So if
You had to see this.
what makes them
You had to see this.
What makes them trans? Their lived experience and having to alter their bodies through hormones and
but the
surgery.
vast majority
Why do you need to alter your body surgeries and hormones if you're just a woman? Women don't need to do that. It just happens. You know that natural thing like that to just 13, 14 and they just start happening. Till they get everything else. The way it is when they are. This, I told you, degenerates.